Welcome back. Game 3 of day 2 of the International Day of People with Disabilities National Australian Powerchair Football Association Championships. And it is New South Wales who we saw fairly comprehensively beat Victoria in our first game of the day by 17 goals to 0, taking on the New Zealand Red team. And this could be quite interesting. The Kiwi Reds gave Queensland's Cyclone team a fair run for their money, although did eventually lose that match relatively straightforwardly by 7 goals to 1. But nevertheless, this one could be quite interesting, and we're already underway. New South Wales obviously in the blue, and the New Zealand Red, it will not surprise you to learn, are in the red shirts, kicking from right to left as we see things. And they will have conceded a throw-in over on that far side, and it'll be Dimitri Lalia-Davis who takes it, the unmistakable figure with the large afro hair. Alongside me for this one is Mark Warren. Mark, commiserations for your defeat last time out, but what a fantastic game that was to watch. So tense and so tight. It
was great to be a part of, and thanks for having me, Simon. It's great to be on the desk here.
Nah, brilliant. It's great to have you. It's great to have an expert.
It could have went either way last game, so
it could, and
very happy with it.
It shows so many young players in that side for both teams, in fairness. But I was really impressed with the way the Queenslanders moved the ball around well, and even though they were behind, even though you were behind, you managed to get yourselves into such a good position.
I never felt we were out of it.
And that's exactly right, and that's exactly how it appeared. And amidst an incredibly tense Brisbane State High School sports complex,
yes, everyone was cheering. It was great.
Everybody was on the edge of their seats. It was really an exciting game as Kiwi Reds have an opportunity here through Massey. Bren Massey, he was playing for Sydney.
Good work, Turnbull.
Did very well, and he's a quality keeper, Chris Turnbull. And he's unmistakable. We can hear him a mile off with the speaker.
That's the new thing for me. I haven't heard those at the games, so that's the new feature.
We mentioned it in our first call of the match, first call of the day actually, and how whether or not there are rules around actually having speakers, because I mean it's quite. It's not uncommon for people who are in a wheelchair to actually have difficulties in projecting their voice.
Me.
Well, exactly. Well, you're doing a grand job so far. But, you know, it is an issue, right?
Yes.
So, you know, perhaps that's something that you guys might be able to look at next season for Brisbane City.
Yeah, potentially. If it's in the legal, why not?
And you'd assume it is if they're here in the National Championships with us. Massey takes this ball inside. That is Turnbull who gets the collision. Then here's Abdul Karim, whose time has been limited, but Massey comes back in. This could be an early opportunity for the New Zealand Red team, and good positions. Now, Sondra Wilcock just getting and escaping from making it a 2-on-1. There's no way through there for Bren Massey. It's all locked up. Lalia-Davis and Turnbull making some collisions.
All right,
Is Massey to try and get there, and that's what happens in situations like that. We actually have to free things up.
Yeah, the ball wasn't really doing much, so now they're going to have a face-off.
Abdullah Karim asking for a foul, I think, about perhaps him butting into him.
Of the chair. You're not allowed to hit on the back of the chair at all, unless you're touching the ball first.
I think it might have actually been a penalty or a free kick in favour of New South Wales.
My apologies.
So it wasn't as easy, wasn't as straightforward as you might have thought. I think there's some confusion with some of our Football Queensland referees. That was some hit from Alderton. He's an enthusiastic player, Luke Alderton, the 18-year-old. Here's Massey again.
Come on, Dimitri.
Bit of contact on Dimitri Lalia-Davis.
Good work and blocking by Alderton.
Alderton did incredibly well. There was a little bit of contact with Abdul Karim, but he can't quite keep that one in. This is going to be a really good contest if the first 4 minutes of this is going to be anything to go by.
Of the day, if I say so myself. I think it will go that way. I know you liked our game, but these are quality sides here.
I felt there was plenty of quality on show in our second match of the day. Kiwi Green getting up by a goal to 0 over the Queensland Barbarians, your Queensland Barbarians, Mark, and it was such a tight encounter. Make sure you go back and have a look at that on the Queensland Power Chair Football Association YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch all the games back this afternoon, and I imagine...
I did yesterday. I went home, I watched everything. I loved your calling.
Oh, thanks very much, Mark. Always nice to hear, and it's just a pleasure to be here, to be honest. Some of the performances have been absolutely exceptional, and it's just been great to watch.
I mean, and it's great to have you too. Like, we're so happy to get you, and so humbled that you said yes.
Oh, I wouldn't have missed this for the world. It's absolutely exceptional football, and again, a promising attacking opportunity for the Queensland Reds.
Good
for the
work.
New Zealand Queensland Reds. Yeah. I'm getting confused. Wrong code, exactly. New Zealand Reds.
Well, we won't speak about how they go.
I was just about to say, it's not quite right to link the New Zealand Reds to the Queensland Reds here in Super Rugby. Not having a great couple of years, the local rugby union team.
Oh, just couldn't quite go past.
It's a good effort though from Luke Alderton. No way through though. Crane, Jordan Crane, managing a hatful of goals in that first match of the day. Normally a brace would be worth celebrating, but when your teammates scored 6, 3 and 3 respectively. Oh, an opportunity here for Alderton.
Oh.
Luke Alderton.
Oh.
That's good defence from New South Wales, and they had to be alert there because that was a cracking attacking opportunity.
New Zealand are really throwing it at them at the moment.
Things might be surprising New South Wales a little bit. They might not have expected this amount of resistance from the New South.
I doubt they'll be taking them lightly, but that 17-0 probably doesn't really help you in your game plan.
Certainly, sort of creates a good amount of confidence, but perhaps a bit of overconfidence as well, and that can't help in the long run.
Oh, cut off by Turnbull.
Now Crane will go upfield, and Crane can't quite keep it in, but the limiting factor of the 10 kilometres per hour of the chairs just coming into effect there, and it must be difficult.
The ball has been rolling very fast, so you may think we can catch up, but yeah, it's actually quite a bit faster than you'd think.
And it must be frustrating is probably not the right word, but like when you're chasing after the ball, you must just be willing that extra half a kilometre an hour.
As far forward as you can. Try to get the aerodynamics.
Of course, most of the guys here will be strapped into their chairs due to the G-forces, and we see Abdullah Karim just sort of spinning around there on the edge of the penalty area. And
watch out for him.
He's such a dangerous player. And this
player of the tournament for the World Cup.
Certainly was, and it's easy to see why with some of the skills that he showed in the latter half of that. But it's come to Karim. Oh, that was a little bit high.
That'll probably be a ball, yep.
And Karim looks up to the heavens, and he's a little bit frustrated with himself, but it was good contact that he got on that ball, and unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately for Dimitri Laleo-Davis, it was able to hit him on the chair.
It would have been a goal. It would have been a goal, I think.
It's a solid collision by Luke Alderton, and it's going to be given against the Kiwis there. Alderton with a wry grin. Looked like he went for the ball.
Yeah,
but bit too heavy a contact.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in those situations I would think maybe just retake it. But, you know, it's the referee's call.
We are having a little bit of attention given to Jordan Crane, so an opportunity to thank our gold sponsors, Power Mobility, your one-stop shop for all your mobility needs. Make sure you drop into their huge showroom here in Brisbane, up in Geebung, or visit powermobility.com.au as Dimitri has a shot, and it's saved by Luke Alderton. And here is Massey. Brendan Massey, who played for Sydney FC, will be familiar with a lot of these players in the club championships earlier this year, and it's a hit in for the Kiwis. Alderton takes, shot from distance, but it's well dealt with by another one of the young Kiwi players, Wheeler, who's not the designated keeper but has been operating in that goalkeeping position. Shots flying in from a New South Welshman here. Here's Abdullah Karim. Lovely work by Leo Davis, but it was good defence again by Wheeler and Alderton gets that deflection and another collision there.
So good passing then. Like they were just trying to open the goal line up, and that was so good by the New South Wales team.
A little bit of a discussion going on now between our referee and Luke Alderton, because that was the second collision that Alderton's had with Jordan Crane, and first one forced Jordan Crane to have a little bit of attention, and just having another little look at that now. Here's Abdullah Kareem. He's cut out before he can get to him. Kareem can't get round, but it will be New South Wales ball. And New South Wales set pieces were so impressive during that 17-0 victory over Victoria. Not having it all their own way midway through this first half though, as it's gone straight for goal by Crane. And Crane's going to try and barge this one in himself, but comes up against Alderton, and Alderton takes it upfield. Alderton goes round to Leo Davis. Sandra Wilcock tried to get it through to Massey, but then it'll be Luke Alderton who has the hit from the near sideline. And Sandra Wilcock, who hasn't had much of a ball in the last 5 minutes or so, is coming off, and see that first replacement for the Kiwi Reds. It's Pat Edmonds who's on now. Edmonds marking, goes straight towards Abdullah Kareem to mark him, and picks up the ball in the midfield now. Lillia Davis will mop up at the back for New South Wales. Kareem on the overlap behind him, but Lillia Davis goes well himself. Here's Abdullah Kareem, gets it through to Crane. Lillia Davis now. Alderton is blocking. Alderton's still there. Lillia Davis with the spin. Couldn't quite get round fast enough, and it will be out for a goal kick, which will be taken by Michael Wheeler. Or Luke Alderton. Luke Alderton.
Once again, that passing just running Luke around a bit.
And Luke Alderton's actually just gone off. He just needs a little bit of attention. Needs his foot re-strapped. So we're just having a short delay here for that. A little bit of a discussion going on between the Kiwi international and his bench. He's returning to the sport after a break for a year or so, in which he was able to concentrate on his studies. He's now at university, studying law.
What sane man takes the break from sport?
Well, you're absolutely right. Here's Kareem now. Good save.
Work.
Still there though for New South Wales. Here's Lillia Davis, but that's excellent work by... Here's Bren Massey. There's a shot and it's in!
Oh, what a spin by Pat.
How about that? Pat Edmonds, the veteran in this New Zealand side. And with the spin, oh, it was a perfect shot from halfway.
Wow.
And just like that, the Kiwi Reds have an early lead.
That's what happens when your goalie plays out a bit.
Here's a feature of Chris Turnbull's style.
Happened to me yesterday too.
It's just perhaps trying to make something happen for New South Wales, because they have been struggling a little bit so far in order to break this New Zealand team down, and it might have been a little bit of a lucky break in the way that the ball fell for Edmonds, but it was a fine shot and you can't take anything away from the finish.
But what is, you create those lucks,
Well, here's another opportunity for Massey. It was a good save that time by Turnbull, who stood his ground in the goal, and he's still playing right on the edge of his penalty area. Is Chris Turnbull, the Powerroos keeper. Few conversations going on between the New South Wales bench about the positioning of Massey in relation to Jordan Crane, who's been beaten up a little bit in this match so far. Crane picks it up. Kareem just can't quite get that one, and a little bit more frustration creeping in for New South Wales. 5 and a 3/4 minutes to go in this first half, and New Zealand Red taking an unlikely lead. Speaking to their coach Steve Alderton just before the game, and he was saying how it was going to be a bit of a test, this match against New South Wales, but they're standing up to that test at the moment. And New South Wales, you can never write them off though, that's the problem.
Any sport you take them on, they're always difficult.
Flag up on this near side for contact. I think it was the goal scorer Edmonds who's been pinged for a foul on Jordan Crane. Again, we mentioned Jordan Crane. He'll need some new paintwork on his power chair if he's not careful. Oh, it's in fact gone the way of New Zealand Red. So contact by Edmonds. Referee
not what he wanted.
Getting a little bit of advice from the New South Wales bench, and we've already seen the New South Wales bench have a little bit of a conversation with the referees.
They're always animated. Every game, they're always animated.
We saw in the National Premier League's Queensland season in the 11-a-side game how these referees don't tend to suffer comment from the bench all too well, and in Football Brisbane competition we have yellow cards now to coaches, and we have seen coaches sent from the field.
Oh, really?
On occasion, yes. John Cosmina at Brisbane City on one occasion. Yes, he said something a little bit too violent. Players are all quite crowded in. You have to be careful about these 2-on-1s, but it's taken away now by Edmonds. Edmonds battling with Crane. Crane does really well. South Welsh number 9.
Got to watch the box.
Leo Davis on the edge.
In the box. Three in the box.
And that was good work from Jordan Crane to force that. Only allowed 2 defensive players in the box at any one time. And it's a free kick right on the edge. Is that how this works?
So I believe it's an indirect. So it has to come off someone before it goes in the goal. In
fact, I scored from this situation before, and it was that man, Abdullah Karim, and he can't quite find a way through past Luke Alderton. There's been plenty of contact in this game so far. We haven't seen all that much, but another tight competitive game. 2 fantastic matches in a row here.
I mean, like you said, New Zealand really want to test themselves, and they're definitely taking it to New South Wales.
It'll be the Ditch Cup that takes place at the conclusion of this competition between Australia and New Zealand, so a fair few of these players may well do battle again before the end of the competition. And then, of course, having said that, you do see these situations. Another good collision there between Abdul Karim and Luke Alderton. Alderton comes out on top this time, but can't keep it in over on that far side. What a battle between those 2 great stars of the sport. And it's a real pleasure to be able to see them in action against each other here.
And possibly Australia's best against New Zealand's best.
Arguably the world's best in Abdullah Karim.
Yes.
Here's Massey. He's been impressive so far for the Kiwi Reds. Stays in. No, in fact, it's gone out, but it'll be Kiwi Red ball. It was a marginal call. The linesman gave it. Linesman gave it on this near side, and then Abdullah Karim just inquiring of the referee as to what the problem was. International Day of People with Disability National Championships, brought to you live from the Brisbane State High School. And New Zealand Red are leading New South Wales, former champions, by a 1-0 with just a few seconds remaining in this first half. It'll be a New South Wales ball. And Dimitri Leleo Davis just checking that is, in fact, a New South Wales ball. There have been some contentious 50-50 calls that have gone one way or another in this match, and just making sure that everything's all right. We hear the voice of Chris Turnbull just directing traffic. Leleo Davis gets caught out, though, there by Edmonds, and Edmonds crept in brilliantly there, just unable to get that ball on target, and that would have been a real turn up for the books with just under a minute remaining in this first half. New South Wales trailing the Kiwi Reds by a 1-0. Ball went up, and Massey just having a sly word with Dimitri there. And it'll be Luke Alderton who goes up against Dimitri Lileo-Davis in this ball up. A little bit more circumspect that time, Luke Alderton. Looking to avoid the contact. Abdullah Karim does really, really well, charging through there. This is an opportunity for New South Wales. Karim going around the outside, is going to do it all by himself. This is wonderful football from Abdullah Karim, but he gets crowded out of it by Massey, and then Brett Massey does brilliantly well to take the ball away off Abdullah Karim, and Massey going up the field now is cut out by Turnbull, and it'll be a goal kick. That's a fantastic passage of play between these two great sides.
Really, really good by both teams. Massey did really well to bring the ball down the field.
Won't be much time remaining. I think the whistle will be gone. I think the referees are enjoying this as much as we are here in the commentary table. Luke Alderton goes up against Abdullah Karim. We've gone over the 20 minutes, so any goals that are scored here might be slightly contentious, but that will be the half, and it is the Kiwis who are the happier of the two sides at the moment. Big smiles on the youngsters' faces as they wheel themselves off to this near side, and the inquest starts for the New South Wales Blues, and coach just having a couple of discussions there with his players, just trying to make sure that they know what they need to do in order to get themselves back into this game. This would be a surprise result, wouldn't it, Mark? Mark Warren, the Queensland Barbarians player who's sitting alongside me for this one. This would be a turn up for the books.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think many would expect it. New South Wales always come here looking to win every game, as they should. And New Zealand, like the Reds, they just really taken it to the team. And I think they have a real good chance.
Who's impressed you most from the New Zealand team? I think Luke Alderton, of course, has been a real standout performer, as you'd expect. And it's been, I've been most impressed, I think, by Brett Massey. He's been doing the real donkey work up top.
Yes, he's really impressed me this game. And just their passing, and I don't know, they really impressed me, you know.
Luke Alderton getting some instruction from Coach Steve, and he is just outlining what needs to be done, and congratulating each other. Still a lot of football to be played in this game, 20 minutes in the second half, of course, and Luke Alderton just congratulating Michael Wheeler, who I've got in my notes, been provided to me by Tristan Peters, who's just whizzed by doing some of his duties as one of the organising committee of this competition, just as one of the stars of the making, and that's really proving to be the case. He's done a pretty important job at the back, and it's that the structure of the defence from the New Zealanders that have been so impressive.
Yes, they've held their structure very well, and they haven't given New South Wales an inch.
New South Wales only need an inch, it has to be said, and they will take it. They won their opening game of the day by 17 goals to 0 against Victoria, and beat your Queensland Barbarians side by 10 goals to 0 yesterday. We won't mention that.
We have a rule, you're not allowed to talk, otherwise you've got to put some money towards the jar.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind. I'm sure this is a match I will be allowed to mention, though, the opening game of the competition, which the Queensland Cyclones beat New South Wales by 3 goals to 1, and that was a really great way to...
What a game to open the tournament.
It was a great way to start, and it really showed the two teams that you'd have to say going into this competition were favourites to be meeting the final.
Definitely.
And it really showed the rest of the teams, a lot of whom are developing. I think it's fair to say. I think Western Australia, Victoria in particular, have got a lot of development to do in the sport. But that's...
Victoria are missing 2 key players this tournament.
They're
currently in Italy.
That's right. Luke David in particular, a big absence. Big absentee for the Victorians, who come up against the Queensland Cyclones next. We're going to have a short break before the next game as the Kiwi Red side get out into position, and they're sticking with the lineup that ended that first half, and it'll be Luke Alderton, the designated keeper, but they have changed. Wheeler is off now, and Toby Lipinski is in at the goalkeeping position. Massey and Pat Edmonds are back into the starting lineup, though, on the flanks.
You don't really change a winning formula, really. Just small changes here, and that's all you need.
The fatigue aspect, though, does come into a lot of these players.
It does.
And Massey just whizzes down the field. Abdullah Kareem still on the field. He's recovering from an illness that he suffered before the game. Andrew Kim is on now as well for the New South Welshman. And Jordan Crane, who did get a bit of a battering in that first half, is still on the field. Edmonds lets that one run away from him. Kim, who is such a goal poacher, goes up against Alderton. Alderton still there. Alderton is quite an aggressive player, quite a snappy player. Alderton just goes in there pretty hard, but he's out of position now. Well cut out by Edmonds. An opportunity now for the Reds. Here's Massey. Oh, collision one-on-one, and play's being allowed to continue. Abdullah Kareem with a little shimmy to try and get past Alderton. Alderton read it well, but Kareem's still going well. Back inside, it's met by Edmonds. It's really high-octane stuff here. Edmonds plays it back to Alderton. Clever play by the Kiwis. Up against Crane, though, now is Alderton. Now Andrew Kim, sorry. Kim. Abdullah Kareem's coming in at the back post. It's still there for Kim. And it'll be a hit in from the goalkeeper. So good work from New South Wales and the Kiwi Reds. What a high-octane start to the second half.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Both teams really want it, and New South Wales know they have to lift their game.
South Wales were thwarted regularly in that first half, and that long goal kick by Luke Alderton goes out over on that far side. Of course, defeat here wouldn't be a disaster for New South Wales, even though it would be their second defeat, but it does actually open up the prospect of perhaps playing the team to either finish second place or first place, depending on how results go. And that could end up being Queensland. What a semi-final that would be on Friday afternoon. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one, and we'll work out all the connotations for you throughout the day on day 4 and perhaps even day 3 when things start to become more apparent. As for now, we'll just enjoy the rest of this game. There's still plenty of time to play. 17.5 minutes of it as Abdullah Kareem has the shot. Luke Alderton, rubber ties screaming in protest as they move the ball upfield. Excellent work by Alderton. He's gone past 2 New South Welsh players, and then Crane gets a little bit involved with Luke Alderton. Contact was there, but not allowed, and then Alderton shows the back of his chair to Jordan Crane, and that's where Jordan Crane ends up putting the ball. Edmonds with the spin. There was collision. I think it was between the two New South Welshmen, though. And it'll be a New Zealand red ball in a really promising attacking position. They'll look to close the passing lane. They don't. Luke Alderton's there, and fortunately for New South Wales, Chris Turnbull was on hand to take away possession. Abdullah Kareem going up against Luke Alderton again. Alderton looks to go inside. Abdullah Kareem and Alderton. Alderton gets the better of Kareem this time. Turnbull's out there. Turnbull chooses to go back inside and cut off the pass, and does well. It will be a New Zealand ball over on that far side.
Good work by Turnbull there.
Watched that well, didn't he, as a goalkeeper yourself, Mark, or a player who's playing in goal over the last couple of matches in particular. It must be tough to make those calls as a shot comes in, and we're so close to the second goal, but it is going to be a goal kick for New South Wales. Pat Edmonds couldn't add to his tally, but a lovely touch from Luke Alderton to put the New Zealand Reds in a really good attacking position.
Yeah, it's a very difficult position to play, goalie. And yeah, I'm not a goalie myself, but that's what I've been asked of, and that's what I'm playing.
Sacrificing personal ambition for the team, perhaps getting into those good positions. It's great for a young team to have someone of your experience and your ability at the back to be able to direct traffic, really, and be able to sort of point out where you're doing. I noticed you were having lots of conversations with young Jack, young Jack Perry, who's one of the real young stars up here in Queensland. It must be great for him in particular to have someone such as yourself pointing out. He's
a star of the future in my mind. I'm really impressed with what he's done this couple of games so far. I'm still quite young. And I've just been trying to encourage him.
Here's an attacking opportunity for New South Wales. Lovely attack by Abdullah Kareem. He's going up against Lipinski. Alderton's there too. Lipinski and Alderton getting in each other's way a little bit. Abdullah Karim just wants to try and squeeze this one out. Good opportunity for New South Wales. Abdullah Karim has scored, and we're level pegging here in the third game of day 2. New South Wales back on level terms with the Kiwi Reds.
That was a really good pushover by Karim.
Got himself into a good position.
He did. And he just made it one-on-one, and it's hard to beat Karim in a one-on-one.
See, world MVP and Abdullah Karim gets another goal. He scored in all the games he's played so far as Bren Massey is pinged for contact. And it actually looks like Andrew Kim was just told to keep things calm, and so was Bren Massey. So getting a little bit heated out there. There's plenty of work still going on between these two sides. And
well, we're all level now, so it's a new ball game.
Such a tight contest, and really does show just how tense this sport can be when it is two evenly matched teams, and that's the case with all sports around the world. But Abdullah Karim cuts out that, but it's going to be a New South Wales ball. Ball came off Massey last, and Massey again tangling with Andrew Kim, the Central Coast Mariner. A little bit of movement. We spoke a little bit about Jack Parry, and Parry's just he plays at 100 miles an hour, doesn't he? And I know
it's hard to contain his enthusiasm. But you want enthusiasm on the court.
2-1 called against New South Wales there. You don't see that too often.
No.
But that was again good work by Luke Alderton to force that. As the spin comes off Massey to Pat Edmonds. Here's Massey going up against Jordan Crane. Massey still there against Crane. Massey and Crane just trying to squeeze it back to Alderton. Ended up putting it into the path of Abdullah Karim, and Abdullah Karim puts his head down and goes. Another opportunity for New South Wales. Watched that ball. It was well dealt with by Lipinski, but it's still there for New South Wales. Alderton wants to not get pushed over again. It could happen. Here's Kim. What a save! And it's still not in for New South Wales. Excellent defence from the Kiwi Reds, but that's wonderful attacking play by the New South Welshman.
Yes, I can't believe how good it is at the moment.
Such high quality football, and it really was exciting stuff. Wonderful save by Lipinski. He just did enough, and I think it caught the outside edge of his tyre, and that's what stopped the ball from going into the back of the net. If we had nets, of course, we would pass through the posts anyway.
I think too many people would get caught in the net.
Yes, I think it could cause problems. We saw one post go flying. It had to be replaced by the referee as Abdullah Karim has another opportunity, but Crane gets picked off by Luke Alderton, who read that brilliantly. Andrew Kim does well, though. Only can find Massey, and Massey and Kim now doing battle. Over on that far side, Kim getting the better of Massey, but Massey cuts back inside. Lovely work by the Kiwi Reds. A little bit of contact, but incidental, says the referee, and it'll be a Kiwi ball over on that far side. What a contest. And we still have 11 and a half minutes of it remaining. Just want games like this to never end, and it's been hugely exciting stuff so far. Mark Warren and Simon Smale calling this action for you. Ball comes in, but it's picked off that time by Crane. Here's Andy Kim. It's going to run out, I think, and it does so. And Luke Alderton will have the opportunity to play this ball back inside. The referee's getting a fair workout in this game as well. It's good to see. On loan from Football Queensland. Normally using the 11-a-side games, two players do excellently well to avoid contact there. Massey and Lane. Abdullah Karim just nips in there to take it off the bar of Pat Edmonds, and that's wonderful stuff from Edmonds to not hit Karim in that situation, but Abdullah Karim just showing how good he is.
Yeah, you can't sleep against that guy. He will make you pay every time.
A little bit of contact. Karim goes around the outside of Massey. Advantage being played, signalled by the referee. It's the wrong pass really there by Jordan Crane, Abdullah Karim and Luke Alderton doing battle again. Edmonds comes away with it. Abdullah Karim takes it out.
Good work, Pat.
Did well there. Again, we're pretty close to contact. It's amazing how they don't hit each other sometimes in these situations.
In my case, it's unavoidable.
Well, it's a decent effort from Massey. Forced an intervention from Turnbull. Now he's up against Crane over on that far side, and it'll be New South Wales ball.
Yeah.
Who's your pick? We're level squared now, 10 minutes remaining. New South Wales seem to have a little bit of the upper hand.
I think, yeah, if I'm picking anyone, it's New South Wales at the moment.
It'll be a good test of their character.
They're taking the game up to another level at the moment.
It'll be a really good test of what they're all about, this New South Wales team. A little bit of adversity, perhaps, to be able to overcome, and they can do so. Oh, really spinning around. This is really high-paced power chair football action.
I think the inclusion of Andrew Kim has really brought Karim into the game.
A little bit of contact there on Crane, Massey. Good work from Jordan Crane, forcing a 2-on-1 with that pass, and now there's the movement off the ball. Abdullah Karim just stopping ahead of getting some contact with Massey. Luke Alderton, good shot from Karim, but it's dealt with by Alderton, who read it, and Alderton's going to keep going. Alderton and Karim. Discretion the better part of valor there for Luke Alderton. Chooses to instead do battle this way and backing in a little bit there, just making sure he can see. Abdullah Karim is very dangerous in these one-on-one situations, as we've seen so many times already in this International Day of People with Disabilities National Championships. But it's a cracking contest between Abdullah Karim, the world MVP, and the New Zealand international Luke Alderton, who's been a real star so far.
One-on-one. Let's get them all off and do one-on-one, hey?
Gladiatorial style. Winner takes all. Like the thought, Mark. But there's plenty of players who've also been doing some pretty good job. Bren Massey being one of them, and then of course Jordan Crane, who'll be disappointed if they get taken off now.
They've both been so impressive. They've done sensational work for both their teams today.
No passengers in this game so far, and New Zealand at the moment just hanging on. It's 1-1. New South Wales with all the running, but it's a good opportunity and a good position for Kiwi Reds. They're taking their time over this. Is Bren Massey. Alderton plays it in. Nice set piece from the Kiwi Reds. Alderton is waiting for it. Can't wait when Jordan Crane's about, because he'll pounce on any loose ball, and he did so there. And New South Wales suddenly with a decent attacking opportunity over on that far side, but Abdullah Karim can't keep it in. It is at the expense of a throw on behalf of the Kiwi Reds though, and it'll be Jordan Crane who takes it. Played the majority of the game so far, despite being banged up a little bit in that first half. A little bit of contact there between Massey and Kim. We've said that a couple of times already today, and now another opportunity between Karim and Alderton. Karim is going to score here. It's an own goal. And Abdullah Karim, it will go down as an own goal, but it was all Abdullah Karim who made that. And suddenly New South Wales are back on top.
Yeah, Luke just got turned around. You can't face away from the ball when you need your own goal. Stuff like that will happen.
That's disappointing for the Kiwi Reds, who are putting up a tremendous battle so far, but there's still 6 minutes plus a couple of seconds remaining, and you'd say that there's time, plenty of time.
They're still in it.
Sure are, and with Bren Massey doing battle over on that far side, anything's possible, but he can't keep it in on that occasion, and Crane will take the sideline hit, looking for an option. Been another great contest. Luke Alderton, that ball's running downfield. Lipinski, he's in trouble now though, because he's played that straight to Kim. Lipinski and Kim. Lipinski and Kim still. Lipinski backs that one out. And there's contact against New South Wales, and Jordan Crane just motioning to the bench that he wasn't overly happy with that call, and New South Wales haven't really gone to their bench so far. Neither teams have really. Only the introduction of Pat Edmonds in that first half to replace Sandra Wilcox. Karim really trying to get there, and he's making every effort to do so, but can't quite keep it in. We are going to see a substitution now.
There's that aerodynamics.
Well, he's certainly doing everything he can to try and force himself through. Andrew Kim comes off, and he'll be replaced by Dimitri Lalia Davis. Crane inside to Abdullah Karim. Can't keep that one in. Kind of a world MVP. And New Zealand Red are being pegged back a little bit at the moment inside their own half. I think the way at the speed of these guys have been playing, they'll all be needing new wheels, and if you do need that, Power Mobility has all the latest models from leading brands like Quantum, Pride Mobility, Magic Mobility and Otto Bock. So book your free trial today. Visit powermobility.com.au to find out more. Gold sponsors here of this competition, and they've done incredibly well, as have Inclusive Care, helping this competition take place. As New South Wales come again, Abdullah Karim waiting for Lipinski to clear that one right into his path. It's into Dimitri's path now. New South Wales proving dangerous on the edge of the box. Abdullah Karim blocked by Lipinski on a couple of occasions. That's 3 now, 4. Lipinski doing incredibly well. Dimitri gives it back to Abdullah Karim, and that's his second goal. He has been involved in all 3 of New South Wales' goals, but New South Wales finally pulling away a little bit now, and that's desperately disappointing for the Kiwi Reds, who've battled so hard in this game so far.
Yeah, it is. They've done really well, but New South Wales, they just keep upping the pressure, and we've got the result we have now.
There is still time remaining, 3 minutes, but New Zealand need to get the ball up in the attacking part of the field, as Abdullah Karim is pinged for an infringement, and it is Abdullah Karim who's shaking his head. Just giving David, one of our Football Queensland referees, his version of events, and I've seen David referee a few 11-a-side games, and he doesn't suffer fools gladly and doesn't take any chat back from players on a regular basis. So when he tells you to calm down, you do best to listen, and he did nearly get taken out by Abdullah Karim as Karim went just outside of the field. I'm sure it was unintentional, but nevertheless, just showing a clean pair of heels there, and he had to do so. Of course, earlier on in the tournament yesterday, flicked the ball up off his back heel in one of the matches, and I'm sure we'll try and clip that up and make a habit of that to show that on a regular basis throughout the season next year. It's a good learning curve for some of these players and referees as well. We've said that on a couple of occasions. Massey and Jordan Crane still getting a little bit entangled over on that far side. It's Pat Wilcock. Sorry, Pat Edmonds, apologies. Now battling with Massey, and New South Wales are going to come again. Dimitri Lalia Davis. It's a New South Wales ball over on that far side, and we're inside for 2 minutes now, and going to see a substitution. Yeah, it is Pat Edmonds, who scored Kiwi Reds' goal. He's replaced by Sandra Wilcock.
Really impressed with Pat today.
Yeah,
he should be proud.
It's a really good performance, and the goal really capped it off. It's corner. Good save by Lipinski. We're in the final minute of this game now, so fantastic confidence booster for New South Wales to come back in from that position.
They really had to fight for it.
Abdullah Karim's got the 4th. That's his hat-trick. That's a really, really fine finish from Abdullah Karim. The own goal adding the extras as well, but Abdullah Karim just ghosting into that position. It was Sandra Wilcock who's just come on, who was marking him, get a little bit wrong side. Lovely set piece again from New South Wales, and
They're just so lethal in set plays.
The set plays have been hugely impressive from New South Wales and tough to deal with, but that'll be high in Queensland's mind as they both look on course to being the top two at the end of this competition on the round robin phase. And that was a fine contest between these two sides, and unfortunate really that New Zealand Red ended up coming undone. A fine win for New South Wales. What are your thoughts, Mark?
They just showed their form, you know. That's what New South Wales do to you. They'll grind away at you, and then they'll create space, and then they'll hammer the goal home. New Zealand, they did really well. Thoroughly impressed with them. I think they're going to get even better throughout this tournament as it goes on. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make a play for the finals.
Certainly worth a team keeping an eye on. They would have been disappointed with that defeat against Queensland, but then to run New South Wales so close on day 2 of the competition, it's good signs for the Kiwi Reds, who do have another game today. In fact, you'll be getting in close contact with the Kiwi Reds.
Oh.
It is. So that's an interesting matchup from 2 o'clock, that one. The next game will be the Queensland Cyclones against Victoria. So Victoria have already played today and shipped 17 goals. So that was a statement put out by New South Wales, and I think Queensland may be looking to do the same. But that's all for the third game on day 2. We'll wrap up this live stream now. It's been a fantastic contest. New South Wales coming from behind to beat the Kiwi Reds by 3 goals to 1.